former President Muhammadu Buhari. Court frees former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayose, says EFCC fails to link him to money laundering. On the foreign scene, Israel bombs Syria army headquarters after warning Damascus to leave Druze alone. Good evening. This is news at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Timitope Ajijololuola. We'll begin with politics as former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, with immediate effect. In a letter dated July 14 and addressed to the chairman, PDP, Jadar Ward 1, Jadar Local Government Area in Adamawa State, Atiku said his resignation was due to irreconcilable differences that have emerged in the former ruling party. He noted that he found it necessary to part ways due to the recent trajectory the party has taken, which according to him diverges from the foundational principles it stood for. He disclosed that the party giving him the opportunity to serve 2 full terms as Vice President of Nigeria and being a presidential candidate twice has been one of the most significant chapters of his life. He added that as the founding father of the party, it is heartbreaking for him to take the decision, but he wished the party and its leadership all the best in the future. In the meantime, our former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Anyaoku, says Nigeria needs a new inclusive and democratic constitution that will accommodate the country's plurality. Anyaoku stated this at a national summit organized by the Patriots, a Nigerian political summit group, on Wednesday in Abuja. He said that the 1999 Constitution was not democratically formulated and is not in sync with the plural nature of the country. Anyaoku, who was the chairman of the summit, said that only a constitution that accommodates the plurality of Nigeria could address the country's myriad of challenges. According to the other statesman, the rise in cases of insecurity, high poverty, lagging infrastructure, and lack of confidence in the future among the growing youth population have necessitated a new constitution. Other issues, according to him, include number of federating units, powers of the national and subnational governments, structure of the security agencies, political parties and their organization, management of the country's resources, and other important features of the constitution. Moving on, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Governors Dikko Rada of Katsina State and Babagana Zulum of Borno State led all the mourners to Daura for the fidel prayer for the late former President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura on Wednesday. All the top dignitaries at the prayer were former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, Peter Obi, and former Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Arufai, amongst others. The event featured recitation of the Holy Quran, prayers led by Imam Yazid, and charitable acts performed on behalf of the deceased. The gathering offered prayers to God Almighty to grant the late former president eternal rest and admit him into Al-Jannah Firdausi. Buhari, who died in a London hospital on Sunday, was buried in his hometown Daura on Tuesday, at President Bola Tinubu in attendance. In his remarks after the prayers, Vice President Kashim Shettima advised people to consider themselves as travelers who would all return to their various homes. On his part, Peter Obi said former President Buhari did his best within his capacity.
Come here yesterday because there was no flight, and even if you have a flight, you can't land at Katsina Airport. It was all closed because there was a lot of dignitaries.
All right.
And it's believed that the mourning continues till tomorrow. So whoever comes day tomorrow is still part of the mourning.
All right.
And we're mourning for our departed president.
All right. So how will you describe the late president?
Well, I had the opportunity of meeting him while I was campaigning. And I remember his words to today. Please care for the poor Nigerians. That's what I always remember. I believe that he did his best within his capacity.
All right, what do you think Nigerians needs to learn from the former late president?
Well, we have to all learn how to serve our country, knowing that one day we will all be called back by our Creator.
A lot of people have talked about his simplicity and devoid of materialism. Will you agree with this postulation?
Of course. For those of us who, like I said, I'm not close to him. I only met him during my campaign, and I remember vividly his, what I call, sincere appeal.
Turning to the courts, the Federal High Court in Lagos has discharged the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, on charges of money laundering and theft amounting to 6.9 billion naira. Justice Chukwujekwu Aneke discharged the former governor after reporting his no-case submission filed to challenge his trial by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The court held that the EFCC had not been able to link Fayose to the crime, nor was a prima facie made against him to warrant further defense. Fayose was initially arraigned in 2018 before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, but the EFCC later secured a transfer of the case to Justice Aneke. According to the charge, Fayose allegedly took possession of 1.2 billion naira for his 2014 gubernatorial campaign and received $5 million in cash from then Minister of State for Defense Musiliu Obanikoro. He was also accused of laundering various sums, retaining and using over 1.6 billion naira to acquire properties through proxies and companies such as the Privateer Limited and Steel Arts Limited. Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has said it will appeal the judgment of the court.
To appeal or not to appeal is that of the prosecution. The outcome of the appeal, if it is ever pursued, is also for the Court of Appeal to decide. Our duty, should there be any appeal, is to defend, is to protect this extremely erudite decision.
I am sincerely moved to tears. I came to this court worried and disturbed because in a situation like this, you don't know the direction it will go. But today, God has been kind to give me freedom, liberty again. And God has been kind to allow today to come to pass in the favor of the defendants. It will have been the other way around, but the Lord has done that which cannot be done by men.
Now to security, the Nigeria Police Force has commenced disciplinary proceedings against 151 senior officers over various allegations of misconduct and ethical breaches in a move to reinforce professional discipline within its ranks. Force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday, noting that the review commenced on Monday and will be concluded on Friday at the force headquarters, Abuja. According to him, the officers selected from commands and units nationwide are appearing before the Force Disciplinary Committee over alleged violations ranging from professional misconduct to breaches of internal regulations. The first spokesman stated that the disciplinary committee as the police's internal body responsible for investigating cases involving senior officers from the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police upwards. Adejobi also reiterated the commitment of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to discipline and maintain ethical conduct within the force, emphasizing that the force would not condone any form of indiscipline or misconduct. Still with security, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has disclosed that the Nigerian Air Force is set to significantly expand its aerial fleet for the acquisition of 49 state-of-the-art aircraft by the end of 2026. He disclosed this on Wednesday while speaking at the opening of the 2025 Aircraft Engineering Conference held at the NAF headquarters in Abuja. According to Air Marshal Abubakar, the expected additions include 3 CASA 295 transport aircraft, 10 AW-109 Tracker Type B helicopters, 12 AH-1Z attack helicopters, and 24 M346 fighter aircraft. This upcoming acquisition comes on the back of the delivery of 15 brand new aircraft in the last 2 years, including 6 T-129 attack helicopters, 2 AW-109 Tracker Type A helicopters, 3 B-craft King Air aircraft, and 4 reconnaissance planes. He noted that the ongoing fleet expansion underscores the need to strengthen engineering capacity and improve maintenance culture to match the demands of a modern air force. The force boss further revealed that significant investments have been made in logistics, spare parts, and ground support use to maintain and upgrade existing aircraft and ensure all operable platforms are fully serviceable by the end of 2025. In Rivers State, the State Police Command said its operatives have arrested 2 notorious cultists linked with the recent gang war and killings in the Dionu axis of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. It will be recalled that about 5 persons, including a commercial cab driver who was hit by a stray bullet, lost their lives during the clashes between rival courts in the area. However, the police said the deployment of special unit operatives yielded results with the arrest of a suspect identified as Deseye Okulu with the assistance of a local vigilante group. The State Police Command spokesman, Grace Eringe Koko, in a statement this afternoon, said the confession made by the arrested suspect led the police to another suspect where some sophisticated weapons were recovered. While the State Commissioner of Police, Olugbenga Dekpoju, has restricted the command's unwavering commitment to bringing all perpetrators of crime in the states to justice. Away from security, the Osun State government has pledged to ensure the progress made in family planning outcomes through its partnership with the non-governmental organization, the Challenge Initiative (TCI), is sustained for the benefit of the health of its citizens. Commissioner for Health, Jola Akintola, made the commitment during the stakeholders meeting aimed sustaining family planning intervention, transitioning Osun government to self-reliance. Here is the report.
Defining moments as Osun State transitioned from direct support by the Challenge Initiative (TCI) to a self-sustaining model for family planning and reproductive health services. Through its partnership with TCI for over 3 years, Osun State has demonstrated impressive progress in family planning and reproductive health outcomes. These transitions now involves the state taking ownership of the programs and initiatives implemented by the TCI, including community mobilization and provider training, while the non-governmental organization will continue to provide technical support to ensure the sustainability of the programs. For the Commissioner for Health, Honorable Jola Akintola, Osun State is determined to ensure the progress made in family planning outcomes is sustained for the benefit of the health of citizens.
I particularly appreciate the insight shared and the expectations we have. These are crucial steps towards ensuring the sustainability of our family planning programs. And by God's grace, we will definitely sustain it. As we move forward, I want to assure you that the state government remains committed to prioritizing family planning and reproductive health. We recognize the importance of family planning in achieving sustainable development and improving the health and well-being of our citizens.
In her remarks, Country Director of TCI, Dr. Taiwo Johnson, said there have been gradual, remarkable improvements in family planning uptake in the state following the TCI intervention. She, however, identified the need to close the gap caused by a shortage of family planning commodities.
Okay, so one of the things we started, we had mentioned when we started was we wanted the state to reach a stage of sustainability, which basically means that the state will start funding and owning its family planning program. And so after the 3.5 years is coming to an end, and so what it means is that Osun State would start funding its family planning programs, all interventions, capacity building, and ensuring that the gains that they have sustained when TCI started, the gains are there. What this means is we want to see that the uptake is increasing. We want to see more women taking up family planning. We want to see more women going to the facilities to request for family planning services. But when we say we are transitioning, we don't basically leave totally. We are still there. We provide technical support. We are there at the back end. We monitor your data to make sure that the data is on track, and anytime we see a dip, we get in touch with the state. And yes, there are also some activities that we'll still support just to make sure that whatever success stories that we are recording in Osun State, we record more and we see more, and women take up more methods.
Similarly, Senior Technical Advisor TCI, Dr. Olukunle Omotosho, urged the state government to increase funding for family planning. He also called for the recruitment of more service providers to replace those retiring to meet the demands for family planning. On her part, the State Family Planning Coordinator, Mrs. Ololade Abaton, said 76,008 men and women had taken up family planning in the last 3 years of TCI intervention in the state.
It means political commitment, where you see government leading the cause and driving the whole process. It means putting money on the table, increasing budget for family planning.
Advocacy working group, we have them in the state. They were trained on smart advocacy. They've been engaging the state stakeholders. Visited the PS, the commissioner, the SA, at all levels to ensure that all programs and everybody is up and running.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Isiaka Adekunle, disclosed that Governor Ademola Adeleke has approved a memo for the procurement of commodities, adding that the government is committed to meeting demands.
So, the Osun State government, if you look at the Ministry of Health budget, definitely now we have a particular line dedicated in the Ministry of Health 2025 budget, approved 2025 budget. There's a budget line for family planning commodities. So, and I can tell you categorically that the governor had approved a memo for the purchase of some family planning commodities. So we're just waiting for the cash backing.
The event also featured messages from stakeholders involved in the project.
And when it comes to family planning, it goes beyond just taking drugs or taking family planning, commodities and so on and so forth. It's about planning our life in itself. If you are able to afford training just 2-3 children, you don't have any business having 8 children and so on and so forth. But the understanding is required. The understanding comes from what is in the media. The understanding comes from reading, passing on information, from people, from one person to the other. And that has more or less taken place here in Osun State. And when you look at what has happened in the past couple of years, we were discussing something yesterday, and we realized that more than 225 or more than 27 stories have been reported, in various forms. And you realize that there are a lot of people whom you call, not literate in this issue, who are the mobilizers, who are talking to women, who are relating with women, on these are the things to do. And when you look at the state in itself, there is a form of orientation in the way that people have had.
As part of our activities, the AWG pays periodic visits to the various stakeholders as well as decision makers to seek for their unalloyed support and valued understanding in respect of sexual reproductive health issues in the state, as well as improved health services to Osun women generally.
including the young girls.
Thank God for the Osun State government. I can, testify that Osun State government is doing well in the areas of health. And I pray that it will continue to do well.
Go to say that people are not aware about family planning in the states. Honorable Commissioner, sir, I want to tell you, sir, that in all the states that CCI is operating, and in terms of reportage, Osun is leading.
The program, which brought together policymakers, healthcare workers, and civil society groups, focused on strengthening local capacity to continue providing family planning services in Osun State without external funding. A highlight of the stakeholders meeting included drama performance and presentation of awards.
You're watching news at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer suspends 4 Labour members of Parliament following welfare rebellion. We'll bring you more on this when we return. Stay with us.